How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the Hindenburg, the legendary tier German heavy cruiser. In this one, I decided to try and do a funny AP main battery build where we're using Riegerwald as the main commander with Andrew the Lip and Gunther Lutjens as the inspirations. Basically trying to do as much AP damage as we possibly can. So in this match, we're basically going to be shooting as much AP as we possibly can, and I guess see what happens whenever or if we do get a broadside to shoot at. Obviously, if something's charging bow in, it probably would be a little more effective to have been shooting HE, but at the same time, we can get these pens here and there on this rubric charging in. But yeah, the damage that we can do is kind of interesting while he's angled, but again, HE, especially with Hindenburg having quarter pen, would just simply be a lot more effective, especially with some of these salvos doing all ricochets. So we finally have the wisdom to finally press X and switch ammunition types, and we switch to HE. And we were spotted very briefly, so we know there is a destroyer, and the enemy DD is smoking up in Charlie. I'm just kind of hoping our Shimas don't get themselves killed, because I'm pretty sure it's a DD with sonar. And chances are, having two Shimas in an objective against a destroyer with sonar, someone is going to die to that destroyer. I mean, it's just the nature of things whenever you have Shimas on your team. We saw an enemy Alaska that was kind of broadside, so I was hoping that we would be able to maybe see what our AP could do. We did get a couple of pens there, and sure enough, as we do fire, we find an enemy daring that gets spotted. We also have a friendly Shima that thought going towards the enemy rubric that probably is running sonar, and smoking up right in front of him was also the best plan that he could possibly think of, as he just dies to secondaries. Yeah, kind of unfortunate. Enemy daring, still getting himself spotted. I suppose he is trying to kill off both of our Shimas in the cap. But at this point, we need to try and do something against this enemy daring and maybe save another one of our destroyers, because it's not really looking good for our team. The other flank isn't quite getting anything done. I mean, we still have a bunch of battleships, specifically the one that is in the island in the middle, in our spawn. Just basically sitting there, not really moving, and I guess conserving his HP like a cruiser would. Enemy daring, trying his best to get rid of our Shimas. Unfortunately for him, we are in a spot that we could keep him spotted, and we had a friendly battleship pushing up the flank to spot him from the other side, so we are able to finish him off and keep our Shima alive. Now all Shima needs to do is keep things spotted, and we can just sit here and farm, and eventually we will slowly kill everything off. Being a Hindenburg, you kind of do rely on farming damage to do well, and in order to do that without just exploding, especially with so many ships that do 30mm overmatch, you kind of do rely on islands. Shima is kind of spotting, but he's not really going and spotting the other cruiser that's actually behind the island in their spawn. He's kind of just sitting and not really doing a whole lot. Enemy Alaska, though, just reversing away flat broadside to us while he's trying his best to stay angled to our battleship, while also getting all of his guns on target. You can see the AP damage that we're pumping out. Obviously, if we had maybe an accuracy build, we could be doing similar damage and also be landing a lot more shells, as we are now starting to ricochet because Alaska finally figured out how to angle. Enemy Henry starts pushing out and gets spotted by our friendly battleship, and at this point I'm kind of curious to see if this full AP pen Hindenburg build will be able to citadel the Henry at basically max range. I mean, I would assume something like Elbing potentially could, but Henry being French with that spaced armor, I mean, chances of getting citadels at this range with shell velocity then becoming an issue might not actually happen. We are getting pens and overpens as well as torpedo protection hits. Those torpedo protection hits are the infamous French black hole armor. Basically, when your shells detonate within the torpedo bulge, which, in my opinion, I still feel like it should be doing like 10% damage or something. Not zero. I mean, if a shell detonates within the bulge, I feel like the bulge would bulge more and probably cause issues for a ship, but that's just me and my my thinking of how things would actually work in real life. But this is an arcade game. There is no real life for this thing. Enemy Alaska was super low. I was kind of hoping our friendly battleship would just overmatch this Henry through the bow and dev strike him, but he was trying to shoot the Alaska and finish him off, and unfortunately he was unable to, and now the Henry is still alive. Our friendly Shima, that was alive at sea that we had saved, had the infinite wisdom to charge into B, where there was 1 billion enemy ships, and as you just saw, he charged out and insta-died to those ships. I mean, there's a lot of places that he could have gone to gain spotting instead of going through a little gap where he could spot nothing until he is basically at the end and at the opening, and unfortunately he died and didn't really get anything done. We also have a bunch of ships on the border. I mean, for us to try and pull this out as a win, I feel like we're gonna need to be able to brawl everything in the middle. Although one of the things that is in the middle is a Yamato, so there is no angling to that. There's still a Venezia, a Shimakaze, basically a whole lot of things that we're gonna have to worry about. We're also located, so we have an idea that the enemy Shima is trying to come and torpedo me, so it's time to start pushing forward. Enemy Henry is trying to duck for cover and try to cap C, and we can't really allow that to happen. We're still spotted, and yep, torps are showing up, so there is an enemy Shima basically freely sailing around now because our friendly Shima just insta-died. Enemy Shima starts opening up. Unfortunately, no turrets able to turn and fire at him, but it is what it is. We kind of need to get something done quickly on this side. We got to get rid of this Henry. We have a friendly destroyer that charged into A, although it looks like he has already launched his torpedoes. And I mean, a destroyer that launches his torpedoes early in quite close quarters, I feel like he is just gonna get himself killed. Enemy Venezia starts reversing and angling. Unfortunately, it would have been great if he just wasn't paying attention. Now that our destroyer has dumped all of his torpedoes a bit prematurely, I will say, he basically has nowhere else to go. There's an enemy battleship that's charging straight in, and well, he's in a lot of trouble because he now has no torpedoes or any sort of deterrence to slow that enemy battleship down. Henry, extremely low. Unfortunately, he was able to capture C. We can't really waste any time here. We're gonna need to kill off this Henry and somehow get into the middle and start doing something. Enemy Shima, I'm sure, is probably gonna just stay in the middle and stop us from pushing anywhere, and then we're gonna have to play this A and C role. Enemy Venezia also kind of just trying to be a deterrence for me to just charge out there and get rid of the enemy team. Henry trying to reverse and get some torpedoes on us. We know exactly what he's doing. We also have sonar, so his torpedoes are instantly spotted, so we just turn away, and Henry doesn't have the greatest propulsion, so we're kind of going to rely on our rear turret to get everything done here. Rear turrets looking good. We get a citadel and are able to finish off the enemy Henry. Our friendly Sumner is somehow able to kill off the Preußen, although now he is in a lot of trouble and does end up going down. Kind of unfortunate. There's just a lot of enemy battleships that just pushed in, and our friendly battleship was taking his sweet time to get into a position to help him, and of course it's a Preußen. Preußen just typically, Preußen players are very passive and do not really try to I guess get anything done. They just like to sit at the back and farm over islands and conserve HP. And as you saw, he was full HP, and now he's on like 2 bars after being shot at like once. Enemy Venezia starting to push in. We do still have our sonar, and we're also trying to cap C, because at this point the only way I feel like we could win is by putting pressure on the enemy Shima. If we're actually able to finish off this Venezia and maybe even the Yamato in A cap. I launch a widespread of torps. I'm just kind of hoping that these torpedoes can, I guess, lead the Venezia enough. We fire front guns, only get 1 citadel unfortunately, and his sap salvo absolutely hurts. Hindenburg being a little too thick here, our booty touches the island and slows us down, although I don't think the enemy Venezia actually got any torpedoes off, so I'm not really sure what he was doing. He just sailed out very slowly and ended up well, getting dev struck either way. Whether it was to torpedoes or my main guns, he just ended up dying. Enemy Yamato, extremely healthy. It's not looking good. I kind of want to use the island to duck a little bit just so that I can conserve some HP while I charge at him. But at the same time, we know where the enemy Shima is, which is the bottom left corner of the map, since he was chasing our Preußen and torpedoed him. And I mean, we know he's going to be coming back. And with the idea that we're going to stay spotted because of the Shima, we kind of need to put this island in between us so I can get closer to the Yamato and either use AP to Citadel him, which I'm kind of hoping we can do, or we can at least torpedo him. That's kind of our game plan right now, although since we're spotted, we do know he's within our firing range, and we know he's going to be sailing straight towards us from where he was last spotted. So we know he's somewhere between this A island and that little one, or at least on the left of it. We don't really have any sort of idea, but we do need to be careful of torpedoes. In hindsight, probably would have been best to just simply use our speed and try to duck back into A where the Yamato is, but we had a gut feeling that the Shima was dumping torpedoes as we go unspotted, so we assume he is now at that small island there that we are looking at. I think our only hope to catch him at this point is to just randomly launch torpedoes, and then maybe if he tries to chase us, the torpedoes can go far enough even though they're only 6 kilometers, and then catch him and essentially death strike him. Shima torps show up where we were assuming, but again, hindsight, if we just kept sailing towards the Yamato, it might have went a little better. But this Shima has been doing some actual intelligent Shima play. He was shooting at us with his main guns when we didn't have our turrets turned. Obviously, he knows when to shoot and actually uses his main guns. Not something that typical Shima players know how to do. And again, he starts shooting when we're not really looking at him, and we don't exactly have the opportunity to look at him since we've already committed to charging at this Yamato, who seems to have been just sitting there on the island. Our first salvo of AP doesn't do nearly as much as I was hoping. We didn't get any citadels, so all we can do is just keep pushing towards the Yamato. We do get one citadel there, and we can finally launch some torpedoes. So in between the reload, I decided to launch them, and fortunately for us, that one citadel, and being able to, I suppose, pen his booty that was probably unsaturated, allowed us to do enough AP damage that we're able to finish him off. But unfortunately, there's still an enemy Shimakaze that is alive. We have 2 minutes of sonar, but not enough time. We're down on points, and realistically, there's not enough time to flip all of the caps to try and actually get something done here. Our only hope, again, is that the Shima gets greedy, but with the way he was playing, I doubt he's going to do so. So all we can really do is just cap this, maybe get as much XP as we possibly can out of this loss. I mean, we might as well, since we seem to have done 261,000 damage and have gotten a Kraken. We get spotted. I'm hoping the Shima was pushing in. This is really our only hope, and well, nothing is showing up yet. We are located. I mean, there's nothing else to locate, I suppose, but all we can do is try to push to B. We go unspotted, and we see where the shells are coming from. So Shima is basically just playing to win. An intelligent Shima, you don't see very much of them, and unfortunately we had two special Shimas. Would have been great to have one intelligent Shima on our team, as this probably would have been a win, but it is what it is. It's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes with the teammates that you end up getting. Torp show up, Hindenburg sonar. Obviously we're not going to eat torpedoes. I mean, I guess we probably could have, just to have ended the game sooner. But yeah, not a whole lot that we can do. We get spotted. Just take a random pot shot through the island, because we assumed he was there, and unfortunately was a little too late. Nearly hit him though, as we get a dreadnought in the Hindenburg. But yeah, that's unfortunately the way the match ends, with a 3,200 base XP loss. We also topped the enemy team with that 50% win bonus, and I mean, just trying to do some math here. I mean, we definitely cleared 4K. Cleared 4,500. We're probably closer to like 48 or something. So a nearly 5k match and a win. Unfortunately, it is a loss because, well, we had some special teammates, unfortunately. But yeah, Hindenburg AP build. Somewhat interesting. I mean, if you get a lot of broadsides to shoot at, it is going to be pretty nasty. But I don't know about building into AP completely. As, I mean, if people just simply bow in reverse, I mean, you saw what we did against the Ruprecht. I mean, it's obviously not going to be great. So then you're going to shoot HE. And, I mean, is it more beneficial to build for HE in the Hindenburg? Possibly, especially with that 2700 HE alpha. And then also having that 50 pen. But anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway, guys, till next time, aloha.